This chapter is on email marketing, which is certainly one of the more common applications of use of the internet, and something that most of us are used to receiving. Some of it welcome, much of it not. Email is a part of almost everyone's life anymore, whether it's their personal life or their business. For most of us, it's a combination of them. And it's certainly fertile field for marketers who want to access groups and or individuals. We'll talk a little bit about that in a bit. The problem with the internet as a marketing tool from the server side. And when the server, I mean, Google, Yahoo, whomever, MSN, as well as the customer side, is it's so difficult to control. There's many different customer types. Sometimes it's a limited audience for your product or service. It's driven by the end user. That is, those who are receiving your email and or in-email promotion. It's really difficult to get good technical support with many elements of email that's quite convoluted, the process that you often have to go through to deal with problems like having your account hacked and such. And it's everywhere, it's ubiquitous. Certainly when email was first instituted, there weren't a lot of controls. And, spam was running wild. Now laws have been passed to regulate that, thank goodness. And so marketers are forced to comply, to some extent anyway, what they can do in terms of utilizing internet as a way to either stay in touch with their customers, or usually from a more annoying standpoint, sell you something. And so it has acquired a opt-in element to it, where people are, if they want to stay on a list, they can opt in, or if they want to get out of it, they can opt out. More and more I see that opting out is easier, not always, but easier than it used to be. They used to almost hide the damn things, I think, but it's gotten a little easier, I think, probably because of just backlash from people who will end up resenting an ongoing promotion for which they cannot escape. Now, if you want to use email as a marketing tool, just like with social media, where you're buying lists of people that fit your profile, the same is true generally for email. And again, most people don't know it, but as is the case where Google will save every move you ever made so they can construct a profile of you, they essentially mine material from all of the emails that you send to one another, so especially groups, so that they can sell that information to advertisers. So I've seen, my sister is a member of a group that exchanges jokes and political stories of one kind or another, And I am all but certain that some of the things that are inserted that appear to come from people on their mailing list are actually cleverly written announcements or advertisements or political statements or stories that whomever is inserting them would have a strong suspicion that what they're inserting will have appeal to these groups that share information, because they know what their political bent is. They know what kinds of products that they're likely to use. She's a little bit conservative, so there'll be stories of one kind or another that most of them don't fact check, quite frankly, but and at the same time, these groups are likely to use certain kinds of products in common, like sorts of things. So you see promotions along those lines. That's all accessible shared information from Google, Yahoo, MSN. All of them do the same thing. They sell information about individual users based on profiles that they construct of you as an individual or groups that you communicate with. So you're likely to get newsletters, promotions of one kind or another, again, that are targeted to you and or your group specifically. Now, what businesses want to do, obviously, is maintain lists of emails and of their customers so that they can use it on a promotional basis to the liking of their customers. Certainly, this would have relevance to DMV. There's all kinds of things that you could do to improve customer relationship management, it seems to me, utilizing email, for example. If your database was programmed correctly and you had a current email, which is problematic in many cases, you could notify people that their licenses, for example, are about to expire. In theory, I don't know if you guys do that, but that's something to think about. Again, whatever your promotion is, whether it's keeping people informed and changes in the law, driving regulations, so on and so forth, whatever the intent is, you need to have metrics. This is number 10. You want to be able to measure the results to make sure that the effort itself was successful. So there's a lot of different ways to measure the response of, say, an email that was intended to inform or promote some kind of product or service. It would be the click-through rate, how many people actually opened it and read it, and you can get that information, and maybe how much of it was forwarded to other people by the original reader. And of course, one metric would be, if sales is the intent, what was the actual conversion rate for a given number of people who received the email. One of the things you want to do if you were DMV is keep track of the bounce rate, which is the ones that for whom or for which the email is no longer relevant or accurate. And that's different than, say, just a bad address maybe that was typed wrong. One of the things that marketers really like about email, is that, again, you can target based on information you receive from the server, like Google or Yahoo or Microsoft, you can target very nicely, and they make good money selling your information, and then you can personalize it and customize it very specifically for individuals, say within a particular group. And if you've looked at viewed the videos on email that accompany this learning plan, you've learned, as well as per your book, that personalization, customization, things like opening, comments, subject, lines, all have an impact on readability and action ultimately of the customer. If you want your email program to be effective, your emails, it's best if your emails have relevance to the particular users, that they respect their desire on whether or not to receive them, whether or not you use their data responsibly, and can they opt in or opt out of this thing easily and effectively. So, real quickly, email is persuasive. It can be used in a number of ways, like newsletters, alerts, etc. Consumers often start their day with email, and so actually, emails received in the morning are actually the most effective. Studies have shown. So if you send the night before and they're received in the morning, they're most likely to be read. Message timing increases response. That's what I just said. If they're sent out in the morning, they tend to have, they're more likely not to be trashed. They're more likely to be seen. You can personalize them, customize them, use short subject lines that help people recognize what you're doing. Don't try to acquire people without getting their permission first. Customer retention marketing is a really good application of emails. Spam tends to piss people off. Good lists can be purchased, and you get a far better ROI if you're able to create and or purchase a good target market list. Email is really most effective when it's integrated with other e-marketing tools such as social media. It significantly increases the effectiveness. And that's it.